Please welcome to the stage Cory Mosiman.
All right, let's do it. So most of the time I walk around this world and I think that humanity is getting a lot smarter. And then other times I'm like really confused that maybe we're dumber than the monkeys now. One thing that I do know is that over the past 50 years or so, technology has advanced rapidly, right? We look at 1951, the first commercially available computer. 2017, we have the iPhone X, right? It's about 42,000 times smaller, 3,500 times smaller, and over 1,000 times faster, right? What we can do with this is pretty incredible, right? In 2010, Target successfully predicts the pregnancy of a teenager before her dad finds out, right? Begins sending her coupons, right? End up with a really angry dad, a really awkward PR moment for Target, okay? In October 2016, Tesla begins shipping all of its automobiles with level 5 autonomous capability, right? Maybe you guys didn't even know there were 5 levels of autonomy, but they're out there and they're in that car, right? Pretty incredible, okay? And so if you're like me, you're from the 90s, right? The 90s was kick-ass because we had Disney Channel movies, right? All right, and if you remember Disney Channel movies, you remember Shia LaBeouf before he got motivational, okay? But Disney Channel movies were like casseroles to the 50s, right? They defined who we were as a people. And if you remember Disney Channel movies, you probably remember Smart House, right? And the coolest thing about Smart House was that scene where she spills a smoothie and then the vacuum, from under the carpet sucks it down. Anyways, super kick-ass movie. This is the way that I see the world coming into the buildings industry, right? And then I come to realize that our buildings are actually really dumb, okay? And not just like kind of dumb, but like really dumb, okay? We'll look at some examples. If we look at Facebook, right, they know every contour on my face. It's a beautiful face, a lot of contours, but they know them, okay? If we look at the place where I live, the place where I work, it doesn't even know that I exist, okay? Now, if we look at this Lincoln commercial, right, you guys have all seen this, all of the seats doing like the synchronized swimming. There's over 30 points of adjustment. If I look at buildings, right, they have this lockbox over the thermostat. I can't even, change the temperature, okay? I can start my car from a smartphone app, right? I can see the tire pressure. It's crazy. And then we look at a commercial skyline, right? And this is not stylistic, guys. This is just because we can't figure out how to turn the lights off in our buildings, okay? We look at the Google Assistant, right? I'm like, okay, Google, book me an appointment. And then it goes out, makes a phone call, right? It can talk to a person, book it, put it on my calendar, let me know that it's done it, right? If we look at how things talk in buildings, it's like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker from Rush Hour, right? They don't speak the same language. And this is the biggest thing that we cannot overcome in buildings right now. They will not communicate, right? And I liken this to having a mouse for every application that I need on a computer, right? Imagine if I needed a mouse to operate Microsoft Word, if I needed one to operate Facebook, right? It shouldn't require a 6-armed superhero to measure things in buildings, right? If we take tonight's venue, for example, right, it probably doesn't know there's an event going on. Maybe it knows somebody's here. Definitely doesn't know how many people are here. Definitely doesn't know who they are. It might not even know it's located in Boulder, Colorado. And all you people are energy professionals, and you're like, dude, you haven't talked about energy once. And I'm like, I know, chill out. I can't talk about green buildings unless I first talk about smart buildings, because we don't know how our buildings work. And that's why they've never performed. Okay, let's take energy use intensity. We're looking at the total energy consumption for a year over the square footage of a building. Let me take 2 buildings, one that's never used, or my basalt facility, and one that's used all the time, okay? And we look at the energy over the year and they look the same, but we know that they're not operating the same, okay? So why don't we start looking at ennui, okay? Occupancy normalized energy consumption. Look at energy, look at the area of a building, and then look at how it's actually used. We need better metrics. And so you guys are all probably depressed and like thinking it's never gonna work out, but I have a 3-step process because those are the best. We need to undumb our buildings, right? We first need to start monitoring what's happening in them. Put a brain in them, okay? Then what we need to do is enable these brains to talk, right? I need Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker on the same page, okay? They need to tell each other what they're doing, okay? And then we get a little bit smarter buildings. And the third thing that we need to do to have data-driven buildings is we need to put some brains on these brains, okay? We need to not only have things working separately, but working together. And I need something that's also learning from, automating, taking in feedback from people, and changing how the building operates. Only then are we going to have efficient, comfortable, and healthy buildings. Thank you.